Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to look at some posts on Reddit from the great subreddit, Am I the A-hole? So basically, a bunch of people that had stuff happen in their life go on this subreddit and ask people if they're the a-hole in the situation for doing this. And most of the time, yes, they are the a-hole. I don't know why that is. Just probably around 8 out of 10 times the person who writes something on the subreddit, Am I the a-hole, turns out to be the a-hole. But anyway, we're going to look at some of the stories and see if they're the a-hole or not. And we'll be judging them basically. So without further ado, subscribe. Let's get into the video. Am I the a-hole for not wanting to interact with my biological father, but still expect him to pay child support? Okay, this one, the title doesn't seem too good for the person writing it, but maybe there's some context. Let's go. So they say, first off, let me apologize for any weird phrases or grammar mistakes in my post. English is my first language. Why do so many people say that? I swear, so many people on Am I the A-hole say English is not their first language. It's so weird anyway. And I'm not too good with translating courtroom terms and words. I, 18-year-old female, was raised by a single mom. My parents divorced when I was just 2 months old, and my mom got full custody of me, so I never met my father. All I've ever really known about him is his name and the amount of child support money he transferred into my bank account each month. Now, in my country, I don't even know what that word is, a non-custodial parent is obligated to pay child support up until their child turns 18. But this can be extended for a few more years on the condition that said the child decides to pursue a higher education and go to university. Makes sense. So as you already guessed, as soon as I turned 18, my father stopped paying child support. But when I graduated high school and got accepted to a university, I decided to use this extended child support law to my advantage and took him to court. Me and my mom weren't doing all that well financially, and I thought the extra money would definitely come in handy. The case took a few months to get resolved, and the courtroom was the first and last place where I saw my father in person. His reasoning was not wanting to continue paying child support after I turned 18, that I didn't want to have any sort of relationship with him, so he didn't want to send money to a complete stranger each month anymore. He told the judge he'd agree to continue paying child support on the condition that I agreed to get to know him and talk to him on a regular basis, but I declined. I mean, even if biologically he's my father, this man is nothing more than a stranger to me. I have real no interest in getting to know him, and I never did. Wanting to have a relationship with him would be like wanting to have a relationship with a sperm donor who conceived you. I ended up winning the case because the law is very clear on the fact that he has to pay child support for as long as I'm in university, regardless of whatever I actually interact with him or not. Now he has to pay child support every month up until I graduated from university. We ended up getting in a huge argument as soon as the last courting was over. He was really upset because I didn't even want to talk to him for a while and give him the chance, but still wanted to prey on his money. So from the legal point of view, I'm in the right. But am I in the right from the moral point of view too? Am I the a-hole? I should also add that my father never made any attempts to pursue a relationship with me while I was growing up, and neither did I. My mom never really actively tried to get me to meet him, but at the same time, she made it quite clear that she was also open to talk if I wanted to know more about him, and ready to answer any question that I might have had. Except that, well, I never really had any questions to ask her and was never really interested in him. She also never badmouthed my father and never tried to stop us from meeting each other, but neither of us ever made any sort of attempt to do so. I don't think he's a bad man, but I just don't think he's a good man either. He's a stranger who didn't want to be involved in my life, so I don't want to be involved in his life either. I don't resent him. I have no reason to. It's just plain old disinterest, both parts and his. Okay, this one I'm going to say is pretty hard because you're right from a legal point of view. You're not. You're in the right. He doesn't have to really do anything. All he has to do is pay child support. But this guy really does sound like he really wants to meet you, at least after that. I mean, maybe he actually doesn't want to meet you and is just doing this now because you have to use more money. Maybe he just wanted to cut it off right after. This one is a hard one to find out. But if this were me, I probably would try to get to know him. I just feel like that's the best thing to do. I mean, he is, at the end of the day, your father. You know, he's someone that created you. You should probably get to know who he is. But this one's kind of hazy. I'm not going to say that you're the a-hole, but I'm not going to say you're in the right either. This one, I think this is a good one to start off because I think there's a good argument from both sides. Am I the a-hole for thinking my opinion is more important than my mother-in-law's? Okay, alright. So for context, my child's birthday is next week, and me and my partner have had a few plans, weather depending. We decided to go to the park with my partner's family If it's nice or if the weather isn't great, we'll stay at home and invite people around. Originally, we were meant to go to the beach. My little one loves it there. However, my partner's family wouldn't have been happy because they couldn't have come, so I had to compromise there. We decided on the park or our house because we can keep it a sober day. We don't want anyone drinking. Normally when my parents' family get together, people get drunk, and every get together is used as an excuse to drink. And that's not what I want for this. My partner isn't very good at standing up to their family, who are stubborn and tend to just do what they want. My partner's grandparents and other non-immediate family were under the impression that they were going to my mother-in-law's house because that's the way they always do it, and that's what the mother-in-law told them. Mother-in-law has had a cake made, got banners, balloons, and is going to sort out the food as well. I've already sorted all that. I asked my partner why this was, and he said the mother-in-law was pushing this on them, and they were stressed because they had so many difficult people telling them what to do for our child's birthday. I said that my opinion should be more important because it's my child's birthday. Now my partner is pissed at me because they don't want to have to talk to their family about doing something different. Am I the a-hole? Edit, this is my child's first birthday. I'm also 23, my partner 21. I know, I don't think you are. I mean, at the end of the day, it is your child. You should decide what's best for your child and not your mother-in-law, who isn't really even technically related to the child. They probably shouldn't have, pushed the gun like that. They probably should have waited for your opinion. So, yeah, you're not the a-hole. Congratulations. You're the 2% of the subreddit that actually isn't the a-hole. Am I the a-hole for kicking my sister out of the house? This is going to be a good one. Me, male 22, lives with my sister, female 20. And last night when I was gone, she brought some men over, which I don't allow because I pay for the house, which means my rules. She only lives in it with me because she is currently having money problems and I offered to help her. Anyways, she brought 2 men over to my house last night, and basically I'm assuming they had a threesome or something. Apparently the 2 men went into my room and basically stole a bunch of stuff when my sister was blackout drunk. So she says. When I came to the home in the morning, I saw a bunch of my stuff was gone. I asked my sister what happened and she had no idea, which I thought was some BS. I checked the front door security cameras and found her walking in with the 2 men, and I was absolutely livid. I confronted her immediately, saying that I told her specifically not to do that while she is just sitting there trying to play it off. Then I kicked her out of the house and told her to go live under a bridge. I guess she called her mom immediately because then I got a call from my mom saying I shouldn't have kicked her out because that was my sister and she doesn't have anywhere to stay. When I brought it up, why doesn't she just stay with you? She repeatedly called me an a-hole. Am I the a-hole? It's bugging me. This one's hard because your sister really has nowhere to go if you kick her out of the house. But you do have every right to kick her out of the house after. I do think you do have every right to kick her out of the house after what she did. I mean, she just didn't listen to your rules. You have complete right. She isn't paying for the house. You can do that. But it is your sister and she does have nowhere to go. But if she's been like this her entire life, she probably needs to learn some discipline. I'm going to go with you're not the a-hole, but you may want to bring her back to your house eventually. But I think if you kick her out for a while or something like that, she knows what's going to happen. So I don't think you should kick her out entirely, but you do have every right to do so. Am I the a-hole for how I acted at my boyfriend's birthday party? The birthday was last night. We were all vaccinated and it wasn't a large party, but I had to work this morning, so I was careful about drinking, but obviously most people were not. So at one point, one of my boyfriend's friends started telling me how happy he is that we, boyfriend and I, are together and how I make him so happy and so on. And we started talking about it and hugging, which was, or at least I thought so, in a friendly manner. Okay, look, first of all guys will probably know that this guy is probably trying to get with you. That's just not how guys act around people that they want to be their friends, or at least girls that they want to be their friends. Any guy should know this, just saying. Well, cue to this morning, my boyfriend isn't really talking to me. He ends up telling me that he didn't like that I got drunk, which again I wasn't, last night, and was hugging his friend, and how everyone felt uncomfortable and was looking the other way. I apologized and told him that we were talking about what we were talking about, and he said that it didn't matter and that people didn't know how to react. Then I told him that I didn't appreciate him saying I was drunk and embarrassed him in front of everyone because it's simply not true. I was just reciprocating a friendly and platonic display of affection initiated by his friend. He said it made him feel awkward, and when I asked why it wasn't awkward, that he friend was hugging me, but the fact that I was hugging him back, he said, well, it just is. I honestly don't know what to think. I genuinely didn't mean anything more than a friendly thing, especially since his friend was talking about how great our relationship is. Again, boyfriend and I. Now I'm wondering if I was in the wrong. Did I really embarrass my boyfriend? What got me questioning everything is that my boyfriend usually isn't a jealous person. In almost 3 years, he's only ever shown an ounce of jealousy once, and I feel like it was justified. He brought up my friendship with a man he doesn't know. It was resolved in a matter of minutes. But the fact that he used the argument of everyone feeling awkward, and then the fact he told me it's okay for his friend to hug me but not for me to hug him back, paraphrasing here, made me think that I'm not the a-hole here. I still don't know if it's jealousy or if he truly feels like I embarrassed him in front of his friends acting in an inappropriate manner. Well, apparently he thinks I'm overly friendly and that it was ugly that I did that in front of people. I'm okay with either one of us having completely different perception about boundaries and what is overly friendly means, but I really wish he would have said something about it sooner. Dang, a lot of these ones today are ones that I'm not too sure about. I mean, I think you probably should have realized that his friend was trying to get with you. I mean, just from what you said, it looks like completely obvious that he was. I don't know how you didn't, figure that one out, but this isn't Am I the Stupid One, it's Am I the A-hole? And I don't think you are. I'm gonna say no on this one, because at the end of the day, you didn't go to his house or anything, you just hugged him, and even though it made people feel weird, it seems like you didn't do it on purpose. So once again, I'm gonna go with a no on this one. This is crazy. Most of these are usually you are the a-hole, but not this one. Am I the a-hole for telling my dad that if he wanted a son, he should have had one with his wife? Oh my god. Okay. My parents are divorced. My younger sister is trans. She is 17. Okay, so your sister used to be a guy, but is now a girl. I think that's what they mean. My mom is very supportive. She has transitioned socially and is on hormone blockers. It is insane how much more happier she is now, but dad is not at all supportive. He used the old name and calls her his son. He hates it when she wears feminine clothes. It's pretty upsetting. She loves him. He is her favorite person, and she has been trying to win him over. It is hard to watch, honestly. I've been losing all respect I have for him. He can see how much she is hurting, and it just keeps piling on. I really can't take it anymore. He doesn't care about her at all. She was trying to convince him again. He said that she was his son, and he always wanted the son. It just pissed me off. She was close to crying and ended up yelling that he should just have one with his wife if he really wanted one so badly. It landed really badly. Dad was upset. Stepmom was there, and she looked really hurt too. We ended up leaving shortly after. Here's where I'm the a-hole. They had been trying to have a child, but they couldn't. It was such a cruel thing for me to say. I am such the a-hole for even thinking about such a thing. It just meant to hurt him. I regret it. My mom agrees that she thinks I shouldn't have been that cruel and should have just found another way to stick up for her. I'm gonna go with yeah, you're the a-hole on this one. This one's an easy decision for me. I mean, first of all, you have to think about it from the father's perspective that he always wanted a son, and the one time he did get a son, that they transitioned into a female. I mean, I feel like if you're the father in that situation, that has to hurt a lot. And even if it's good for the daughter or the son, whatever, that's a whole different conversation. But that you bringing it up now that they can't have a child, they've been trying to have one, and they can't, and you said you should just have one. That's kind of over the top, I think. I think both parties could be a bit wrong in this situation, but I mean, that was pretty overboard. I'm gonna go with yes, you are indeed the a-hole. Okay, and that was the video. We had most of them were you weren't the a-holes. We had one where I was confused about it, and one where they definitely were the a-hole. If you guys want to see more Reddit videos, tell me. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and thank you guys for watching.